Yes, we've been live. Remember if we need to look at anybody in admit. Okay. All right. Welcome, Jennifer.
Oh.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Barbara Alfonzo, and I have a special guest today, Angela Tompkins. And today we have a class called Trick or Treat Emotional Health with Essential Oils and Other Tools. So the idea that Jesicca and I came with this class was to, well, first of all, we're close to Halloween. And so we thought, okay, what can be something that's clever that can go with Halloween? And then we said trick or treat. And then we haven't done an emotional class for a while. So just kind of wanted to talk to you about the ways that we trick or treat our mind and emotions and how we use essential oils to support us with that. And my friend Angela knows a lot about the amygdala and the connection with the emotions and how essential oils are used for that. So she's going to be chiming in and talking about that. Jesicca, it might be joining us in the middle of the class. She's currently traveling, so she's in the car. But either way, here we are. And we are dressed up. I am dressed up as the oil fairy.
And I am oil kitty.
The what? The
oil kitty.
Oil kitty. So I got my wings. One's kind of higher than the other, but at some point they might kind of break. I haven't worn this in a while. So yeah, my mom had the idea that we should wear costumes for today, so we did. All right, you guys, let's get it started. Those of you who are in the Zoom, welcome you guys. Thank you so much for your patience in trying to get the Facebook and all that together. Please, you guys, you are here and you kind of have the VIP where you can send in messages and type in the chat and questions that you have, anything that you want to learn so that we can respond to you. In the Facebook, we're not really paying attention to that so much. However, I might go from one to the other. So go ahead and type in your questions there anyways.
Yeah, we can definitely come check them out afterwards too.
Yeah, so just in case those of you who are watching might not know us, Barbara Alfonzo, I'm a health coach and yoga teacher and also doTERRA wellness advocate. And Angela?
Thank you. I'm Angela Tompkins, also wellness advocate and a health coach, and I bring health and wellness and personal development into corporate cultures.
Yes, so she's all about that corporate culture. All right, you guys.
All about the people.
All about the people. Yes. All right, let's get it started. We have a nice little presentation I'd like to share with you so we can kind of go along with that. And you have a visual. I know that some people learn by looking with visuals, and then others by listening, others by writing. So let's see if I can do this in the full enter full screen, which doesn't really change much. There you go.
Looks nice.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, let me know if, actually I don't want full screen. I just want it like this. All right, you guys. So beginning with our emotions and your body, okay? It says, they say that we have three brains. We've got the mind, we've got our brain, and then we have the heart and we have the gut. And these three are working together. We have a thought, we think about something, we have an emotional reaction to that, our emotions, and then that has an effect on our energy, it has an effect on our mood, how we feel, has an effect ultimately in our body, okay? So the mind, think of the mind as the director, okay? This is the subconscious mind, which directs over 90% of behavior. So a lot of our behavior and the way that we feel has to do with our subconscious mind. And you know, that's making about 90% of our decisions. So think about that. Then only like 5 to 10% of we're making decisions and these emotions are showing up from a conscious mind. So we need to kind of flip that, right? So that we're making more decisions from our conscious mind, from awareness. And that it begins with awareness. So the key to that is awareness. And then we've got the heart. And think of the heart as a discerner, okay? There are more neural pathways that run from the heart to the brain than from the brain to the heart, right? So think of this, the brain is our director. The heart is discerning whether something, right? It's sustainable for you, whether, you know, I guess we can get into the right or wrong, but I'd like to go into like what's sustainable, what's not for you, and being able to discern from that, from your heart. And then we've got the gut. The gut is like the processor. 90% of the body's serotonin and other feel-good chemicals are produced in the gut.
So gut feelings.
Right? Exactly. So the three different ways that we feel, the three different ways that our body is speaking to itself, the mind, the brain, we've got our heart, and we've got our gut and the microbiome. Okay, there's something called the gut microbiome, the gut brain connection, which is in the microbiome. Okay, so I want to talk about the four kind of feel good chemicals that we release, the four hormones that are released. Mainly form the brain. Okay, so I'm gonna take my notes here, make sure that I don't forget anything. Do you know what they are? I'm gonna test you. Do you know what this for?
I just looked at the paper.
Yeah. What did you read? What was the first one you read?
Dopamine, serotonin,
Yep.
GABA, and
oxytocin, endorphins. So those are the four that I'm going to talk about, because here's the things, you guys. Your hormones are your chemical messengers. So these hormones are part of the chemical body, and the emotions and all that, it's all chemistry. The thoughts create an emotion which releases chemistry into the body. So it makes sense for us to educate ourselves on what our hormones are, what hormones do what, and all of that. This is why I've created, and I'm going to shameless plug right here. This is why I've created Own Your Moon, which is a hormone balancing program. It's an educational program for women to start to understand how their hormones work and how they have an effect on their mood and an effect in their cycle and their period and their hormones. So moving forward, we've got serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins. These are pretty famous. Most of us have heard of them as the happy hormones. Okay, they're hormones and neurotransmitters that are involved in lots of essential processes in the body, like heart rate, digestion, so it has to do with your microbiome, also your moods and feelings. They are the body's chemical messengers, as I said, and some of them are known for their ability to help bond and feel joy, like oxytocin is that bonding, like when we hug, we release oxytocin, feel joy and to experience pleasure. All right, so let's look at the dopamine, and dopamine is produced in the hypothalamus. So we have three hormones in the brain: hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the pineal gland. And again, just like it says here that the mind or the brain is the director, these hormones are directing the rest of our hormones that are released in the other glands, like our thyroid gland, the thymus, we've got the ovaries, the testes in men, we've got our pancreas, we've got our organs of elimination, the gut, and all of that.
I call it the mothership of all the other hormone glands in the body.
Yes. And if you think about like a mothership coming from the top, right? So it's just like
sending messages.
All right, you guys. So these happy hormones are released from the hypothalamus and pituitary and pineal. So the dopamine is mainly in the hypothalamus, known as the feel-good hormone, and it's important part of the brain's reward system. Dopamine is associated with pleasurable sensations, along with learning and memory, motor system function, and more. Oh my God, that's like everything, all the processes, most important processes of the body. Now, here's a fact about dopamine: is the active neurotransmitter in addictions to substances, drugs, alcohol, and behaviors like gambling and sex. All right, and also sugar. Why? Because these things release dopamine in the brain and we feel good. And so we look for more, more, more. But guess what? We have natural solutions that you can start to swap and shift and turn. Okay. I always think about thinking like when you're in a negative state in your mind, to flip the coin to its positive side. We've got the negative and the positive side.
Absolutely.
How can we flip the coin into its positive? And it's usually doing the opposite. Okay.
Or changing your thoughts.
Changing the thoughts. Change the thought, change the whole chemistry.
Change the whole chemistry, because you change your emotions and then the hormonal response.
And I'm already hearing it. Barbara, Angela, that's easier said than done.
We know.
But if we stay in that belief, guess what? That's what you're going to experience. And that takes us to the next part to understand about your emotions. Okay. So emotions and beliefs. I want to see something here. Hold on. Okay. Emotions and belief. Where are we? Okay, so life happens. We have a life experience, usually trauma. Trauma happens. Or just, it doesn't need to be trauma. It could be just an experience,
A
okay?
circumstance, which is outside of us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then we're going to process that. And we're going to process it in the three brains. What are the three brains? Can you guys type in the chat? If you can type in and you tell me what the three brains are, I'm going to send you oil. If you live in the United States. If not, you tell me that you're a family member, I can send it to. What are the three, those of you in the Zoom, type in the chat, what are the three brains?
Yes, Stephanie Williams.
The brain, the gut, and the heart. Steffi, you're going to get an oil. All right. So we've got the life experience. We're going to process that. In the brain, we're going to be like, I have to figure this out, right? We go into analyzing. Hopefully we're in the part of the brain where we're making rational thoughts and we haven't gone limbic. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And then your heart is like, I feel, right? The heart feels. I feel overwhelmed. I feel so-and-so. You describe it, the emotion. And then in your gut, there's this sensation, this like intuitive nudge of like, oh man, I'm stuck, right? Because if we started, I need to figure this out, but then I'm like overwhelmed. Could that be a trigger for then like not taking action, staying in fear, running away, or doing it, right? That fight or flight or freeze response. And so they all just back and forth connecting. And then we have a reaction. We respond to, hopefully we're responding to it. So I feel there's a difference between reaction, reactive, and then responsive.
Oh, for sure.
To the situation, right? We react, we're like, ah, and like what's that kind of like limbic reaction?
Comes up from automatic.
Animal reaction, right? And then there's like the response where maybe you gave the mind a chance to like really witness,
choose
objectively as much as possible, and then discern.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So then we have a reaction, or that's the response. Reaction is we might have head tension. We might have conflicted feelings. We might have an unsettled gut, right? When we're stressed, where do we feel it? Right? Either, right? We feel it up here, we feel it around here, or we feel it
physically in our body,
right? We have the butterflies, and then it depends. It could be a positive or negative.
I was going to say, same when we're excited, when you're really excited and you have the butterflies in your stomach, or you're nervous.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
or you're scared and you feel that,
Exactly. And then from that, we create a belief. Okay, we believe that blah, blah, blah. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough, whatever it is. So what do you need to weed out? What are some beliefs? Some of like a behavior, a belief, a thought, a pattern, a story that you have in your mind that is causing you whatever the emotions that you're not wanting to be feeling are causing you. Okay, now it's very important that I'm not trying to say we shouldn't feel negative emotions. Absolutely not. The contrary. I think we should process and feel all emotions. In order to heal it, we must feel it.
Absolutely.
But we don't have to sit in it.
There's a difference between processing emotion and suffering. And making yourself suffer, for one, is a choice, but it's also not serving you in healing your mind, healing your body, and healing your life.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, start to think about how when life happens to you, are you reacting or responding? Okay. And just catching that. And maybe you catch yourself, I'm reacting. Be gentle with yourself. Be forgiving of yourself, that it's okay. You're learning, you're noticing these things. You're noticing the patterns, and you're trying to be that pattern interrupter and begin to interrupt the patterns, because it begins in the mind. When we're talking about emotions, we're talking about mental as well. When we're talking about emotional health, we're talking about mental health.
Sure.
Okay. And vice versa. All right. Any questions there from the Zoom? Let me check here what's going on in the Facebook.
I want to make sure there's nobody waiting in the room either. I don't
Good idea.
know if you can always see it.
Let me stop the share here.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's here.
Yay.
Everybody's here. All right, let me see here. All right, back to the Zoom. All right, you guys. And then now we're gonna share with you where essential oils come in. okay, and why they have such an impact on our emotions, okay, and how that works. And so I'm going to give it to Angela. She's going to talk about the limbic system and all the things about essential oils.
Awesome.
Take it
Thank you.
away.
So essential oils are a really powerful tool for us to use on a therapeutic level for so many things, particularly emotions. And the reason why, and I'm going to get into what oils are and how to use them and 3 different ways to use them, but the reason why they're so effective when it comes to emotions, besides the fact that they feel good and they're really soothing, but it takes only 4 seconds to hit the limbic system of the brain, which Barbara was talking about. And that is the part of the brain that's in charge of the fight or flight response. It's in charge of the mood and memory. It's when we have a trigger that something is stressing us and telling us that something's wrong. It's the limbic system that's going to react for us to fight or flight in order to survive, as well as create an emotion that comes from the thoughts that we're thinking. So when we breathe in something like Serenity here, a very calming essential oil, it's going to take only 4 seconds to trigger the limbic system of the brain, which is going to affect our entire reaction response to whatever stimulus that is, or whatever circumstance, or whatever thoughts we're creating around the circumstance. Also with the limbic system, it also controls the autonomic nervous system, which is the part of the system that is like our heart rate and our blood pressure, the things we don't have to think about working, but that have a physiological change when we're very emotional or in a full-on stress response. Respiratory, how we're breathing. So when we're in stress response, our body shuts down other things like, and same thing with severe emotional response, like digestion, reproductive, immunity, in order to fight, flight, or flee, in order to survive. And so after long term, that can cause a lot of problems in the body. And like I said, oils are such a powerful way, because that's all the autonomic nervous system, to calm all of that and bring that back into balance. So essential oil, especially doTERRA, comes from a plant. So it's the plant's protection. And we're able to collect that in a very pure way with doTERRA, and bottle it up. And I call it plant medicine for the modern world, because we can literally grab it, throw it in our bag, and run out the door. So it's really, really amazing and very effective on a cellular level. It can actually enter the cellular membrane and have a very positive effect on our cells in the body. So there are different, I actually had this conversation today with somebody about rose oil. She thought she didn't do well with rose oil until I explained to her what the quality was. So there's different types of oil. There's synthetic oils, which are things that you see on grocery store shelves and in something. They're actually not even really an essential oil. It's something that is a synthetic chemical that's mimicked to smell like something.
It was made in a synthetic, means it's man-made. It's not
laboratory.
Not so. It was, I say this when I'm explaining about food.
Mm-hmm.
Did your food grow in a plant, or was it made in a plant?
I'm gonna borrow
like
that
in a plant. But I don't want to, I don't know about essential oils, because we do bottle them in a plant. There is the whole process of distillation and all that. So that is kind of like a plant. But you know what I mean, right? Was the essential oil made in a plant? Was it like laboratory made, or was it extracted from a plant, from its roots, its seeds, the bark, the leaf, the fruit, the flower?
Yeah.
The resin. all the plants, all the parts of the plants.
And in addition to that is the purity, which is why we love doTERRA so much, and why it's the only thing that we'll use, because the purity is, they can get it from these plants and these things and put 10%, lemon oil. This one's actually orange, but they can actually put 10% orange oil in there, and the rest can be synthetic, chemical fillers, whatever it is that they put in. Who knows what else they're putting in there. And so
there's it's called adulteration. There is adulteration, meaning there are other things in there other than the actual essential oil. And because there is no regulation for essential oils, a lot of companies can get away with everything. So if you're looking at an essential oil and it's something like $5 or $10, red flag.
Yeah.
If you're looking at an essential oil and it says can only be diffused, do not put it on your skin or do not take internal, red flag. Why not?
I wouldn't put any oil internally except for doTERRA. And actually, this one is $10 wholesale.
That's orange.
This
citrus.
is wild orange. Yeah, the citruses are. And okay, so doTERRA is the only company that uses a third-party testing called CPTG, which is certified pure therapeutic grade. And it is verified pure, filter free. So you're getting the absolute pure and direct from the source as possible.
And the reason why they have to be 100% pure, absolutely no adulteration, not even a little bit, it's because this company and doTERRA and us as wellness advocates, we advocate and educate of the use of the essential oils internal. And I know it's not for everybody, but if somebody were to utilize these internally, this oil needs to be absolutely pure so that this company can stand behind that. Otherwise, they would get in trouble.
Yeah. And not, well, I'll get into this in just a moment when I talk about the 3 ways to how to jumping ahead and getting excited about taking it internally. So there's 3 ways to use essential oils. Aromatic, which you can bring it on your hands and just take a nice deep breath. A diffuser, which I'm not sure you can actually see here. Oh, here we go, move it over. So this is a diffuser, which is great because it fills the room. And remember, when I first started learning about oils, I was like, is this just something that, smells really good that just makes us happy? Well, yes, that too. But then I went to convention for the first time and for 3 days listened to third-party scientists about how effective it is on a cellular level. And actually that's when I started learning about how it triggers the limbic system in 4 seconds and has an incredible effect on our bodies therapeutically. So breathing it in is one way to take it. The second way to take it is topical. So it takes, I believe it's 20 seconds on your skin to hit your bloodstream when you put oils topically on your skin. And
I wanted to say something real quick about that. We've got the skin, and then underneath we have the microbiome. The microbiome, yes, is in our stomach, but it's all over our body. And then there's another, I forget the name of that other shield underneath that it protects, we have in our ears and our eyes and lips and
like
to protect as well.
Like a mucosal layer?
Yes. But then in between, it's the microbiome. So as we're putting these oils internally and our skin is absorbing, it's also going into microbiome and it's affecting as the blood as well, the microbiome, and it's affecting the cells.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's why they're so effective also
topically. Yeah. So you want to there's some oils that you can put directly on your skin. Some you might want to dilute with a carrier oil, which are things like coconut oil, and if you don't like coconut oil, you can use what's another one? Almond oil, grapeseed oil, jojoba oil. There's several different types of oils that you can use as a carrier oil. And is there anything else that we want to add into the topical? Well, there are different places that you can put them to enter your bloodstream faster, like on your wrists.
Think of your pulse points. Think of how when you were wearing cologne, where you would put those.
Yeah, your neck, for sure. Your lower back on your spine, actually all of your spine.
If you have pain or anything like that, directly where that is. If there's anything going on with like an organ, right over where that would be. Anything going on with your skin and whatever that part would be, a cut or whatever that is. And then also on the bottoms of the feet. The pores on our bottoms of our feet are bigger, so we absorb more and faster. Okay. So think of like, if you're going to be using essential oils on babies, you want to be using the bottoms of their feet. Okay. And then same thing with you. We have different points on the bottoms of the feet, hands and ears, which are reflexology points connected to an organ. So let's say you wanted to target the respiratory system. Maybe you're somebody who coughs a lot, maybe somebody who has sinus issues. And so can use it by breathing it in. You can also put it on the parts of the feet. That's the reflexology point for your bronchial tubes and for your lungs. And so you can massage the oil there as well.
When I use oils emotionally, I like to put them on my chest and over my heart,
my heart too,
my throat.
For emotion, for me, I like the instant, and I love diffusing. I love just having my oils that I love, and also using them on the wrist here, breathing in like this, and just having even a moment of taking 3 breaths of bringing my palms together, and then my thumbs here on my forehead, just bringing awareness to my 6th chakra, my vision center, my mind, and envisioning a better outcome. Let's say whatever's happening. And breathing in. I do that a lot in my yoga classes.
That sounds amazing.
All right.
Should we talk about the 3rd way?
Yep.
Well, we kind of already started before we jumped into it, is taking them internal. And like I said, the only brand that I would ever take essential oil internally is doTERRA, because I trust their purity and their integrity. So this is, like Barbara said, this is, it's not for everybody. It's definitely a little bit more advanced. So you want to always take it slow and really be very intentional as to why you're taking oils internally, and really listen to your body during the process. And also starting very, very small. So you would take a drop of oil or 2 in a glass of water. You can put it in a capsule. You can put it in food. You can consume it many different ways. I like to put it in the bottle, especially if like On Guard, which is the protector if I'm going to be going out, especially right now, just to protect my immune system. Lemon in the water first thing in the morning to help kickstart your metabolism and your liver detox process. So we use a drop or 2. People say, all kinds of things about taking oils and taking too many. You would never, especially if you're using this medicinally, like you would never take a bottle of aspirin. So you would never drink a bottle of oil. You would take a drop or 2. And
I personally don't really use it internally. And the way that I do use it internally would be when in supplements. So when they are the supplement version of it, or something like Digestive, okay, which is a digestive one. And so if I really have, which I'm pretty good with my digestion, but let's say I ate a little too much sugar, or maybe I had a little alcohol, I would take 1 or 2 drops of Digestive, and I just feel an immediate just cooling sensation, and but that's about it. But I'm one to not be big on internal. Some people are like only internal. I like my aromatic and my topical. And internal, I'm not big. I'm very big on that, but some people are.
I really like to take them internally. They're my first line of defense. I'm not saying that I don't use other forms of medicine, but they're my first line of defense for sure. So, and when Barbara was saying taking the Digestive sublingual under the tongue is a really great way to take that one. You want to make sure you don't put hot oils under there because it will burn. But Digestive, it is so effective, so fast in the digestive tract. So not all doTERRA oils do we want to take internally, and there's a quick way to know. Some are appropriate and some are not. If anyone has oils, you can pick up your oils now and take a look, and you want to look for the supplement box. I'm going to try to hold this in front of this here and see if you can see. Can you see a little box? Just a supplement facts. So you don't have to read it. You just see if it's there, then it's appropriate to take internally. It's not there, like the Serenity is not something you would take internally. Notice there's no supplement box. And that's how you know. Yeah, and you get to know pretty quickly which are appropriate and which not.
All right. So you know what? I just realized that I didn't finish talking about the hormones. I stopped at dopamine. I was talking about dopamine and
you started releasing dopamine and you got distracted and kept going.
So I want to keep it going.
Sure.
Just to finish here before, right? Because now we're going to go into the emotional wheel. But let's think about serotonin is created. It helps to regulate your mood. So your serotonin, we said that 90% of it is created in the gut, in the microbiome, okay? It helps to regulate your mood as well as your sleep, appetite, digestion, your learning ability, and memory. Serotonin is created by a biochemical conversion process that combines tryptophan, which is a component of proteins, and with tryptophan hydrolyzed, a chemical reactor. Together, they form 5-HT or serotonin. Okay. Now it's created in the pineal gland, which also produces melatonin, which is a serotonin-derived hormone, which modulates your sleep. So we're going to talk a little bit in a moment of like how to feed and how to support your hormones so you can support your moods. Okay. In a moment. All right. So some foods that are for your gut microbiome. Okay. So for those of you who register for a class, we have your emails, and when we send you the link for the replay for this class, I'm gonna include a PDF that has all this information, so you have it as well. So think of apples, barley, beetroot, berries, blackberries, chicory, citrus, cold potatoes, cranberries, garlic, artichoke, legumes, mushrooms, oats, onions, rye, wheat, and pasta to help with your microbiome. I would be very careful with the pasta, wheat, and rye to make sure that you're getting it from organic sources.
And then it's not creating an inflammatory response because everyone's
Some
body is
people
different.
do.
So you've got to learn. What are cold potatoes? Are they like cooked potatoes you pull out of the refrigerator, or
I have no idea why it says cold potato. Maybe like a potato salad. I don't know, but you have to cook potatoes. Foods that are rich in tryptophan to support the serotonin: sunflower seeds, soybeans, oats, quinoa, spirulina, again, potatoes, chickpeas, salmon, eggs, beef, and what we got coming up that we know that we get the tryptophan and that feel good? Turkey.
Everyone falls
and
asleep on the
chicken.
couch.
So turkey has a lot of tryptophan in it. That's why after the Thanksgiving dinner, everybody's just like
full bellies and lots of tryptophan. Can't wait.
Then we've got oxytocin, which is the love hormone, and it's also produced in the hypothalamus, and it's secreted into the bloodstream by the posterior pituitary gland. So the hypothalamus connects to the pituitary gland, and then together they're activating the oxytocin. That they call it the love hormone. It's essential for childbirth, breastfeeding, and strong parent-child bonding. Okay. This hormone can also help promote trust, empathy, bonding in relationships. And oxytocin levels generally increase with physical affection like kissing, cuddling, and sex. So, there is something to say about what's going on right now, and we're not supposed to touch. We're not supposed to shake hands. We're not supposed to hug. We're not supposed to be near people. We're supposed to be separated. That is absolutely having an effect on our mind and emotions.
Absolutely.
We're all feeling it. We're all feeling it. No, and so connection, one of my yoga teachers, Terry Cooper, she says, connection is the cure. And so if connection is the cure and we're disconnected, right? Also connection of these three brains, the mind, the gut, the heart. All right, so that's for oxytocin. And then we've got the endorphins, okay? So one thing about a fact about oxytocin, the probiotic bacteria L. reuteri was shown to increase the body's natural production of wound healing oxytocin. So the importance of probiotics on the gut, and then also how that's affecting oxytocin. And then we've got endorphins, and that one's called the runner's hormone. Endorphins are your body's natural pain relievers, which your body produces in response to stress or discomfort. Endorphin levels tend to increase when you engage in reward-producing activities, such as eating, working out, or, again, having sex. They're produced in the central nervous system and the pituitary gland. Since endorphins act on the opiate receptors in our brains, they reduce pain and boost pleasure, resulting in a feeling of well-being, okay? You're gonna say something? Awesome. So those are your 4 kind of feel-good hormones that we wanna be feeding. And how do we do that? What are some of the things that we can start to do and invite more in our lives? Okay, I'm gonna see if I can kind of do this. And what happens when we do that? Okay.
Over here? Oh, I see.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So here is the emotional wheel that's been created by doTERRA, so that because we have a whole emotional line of essential oils. Okay. And in this emotional wheel, you can see how the type of essential oil, when like where the essential oil is extracted from, how that particular type of a part of the plant has an effect on a particular emotion. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I want you to kind of look in here at motivate.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
OMPs too.
and it's called the encouraging blend. It strengthens beliefs in yourself, increases courage, confidence, and unleashes creativity to manifest powerful results from your best effort. Okay, so there are a lot of citrus in no, wait, there are a lot of mints in the motivate blend. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so for example, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling insecure, if you're feeling apathetic, okay, think of your more like kind of minty um, oils. Now, these blends, there are 5 blends in the emotional kit, have been specifically designed in a way that chemical constituents in the oils in these blends, the blend is when there are several oils in there, um, work to create these feelings that we're telling you about. And then we have cheer. Okay, so cheer is the uplifting blend, and you can create a bright disposition, cheerful attitude, and boost happiness and productivity. For that, it's very citrusy. In that, I wish that I had them. I don't have all of them. I wish that I had them so that I can read to you what's in it. But if you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling gloomy, if you're feeling distressed, think of picking up a citrusy oil. So think of like when you smell lemon or an orange, you know, it just like boosts your mood like this. So
citrus is one of the few that is both uplifting and calming at the same time. So amazing for stress and emotion. I can look up cheer.
And then we have passion.
Ooh.
Passion is the inspiring blend. Rekindle excitement and inspire the willingness to take risks and make new discoveries. So the oils that are in the passion blend are more of the spices. Okay, so think spicy. Think of think of like what are some of the spices like cinnamon and ginger and clove and things like that. Cinnamon is an aphrodisiac. So think of like your spices are the ones that
you
can
want to be spicy.
Exactly. And so if you're feeling somber, disinterested, or bored, think of picking up passion, or maybe picking up a cinnamon, picking up something along those lines. So what's cool is that you can create your own, or you can use the one that's already been created for you. Some people, sometimes they don't like some of the blends, and so you can start to understand, and this is a more advanced class, you guys, this is coming, where you start to understand the science of essential oils and the chemistry in them. All right, this one has more of this, so then that means it's more uplifting, or it has more of this, that means it's more calming.
And I feel like as you kind of get to know the oils, intuitively you'll reach for, without having to understand. And if you're new to oils too, don't worry about understanding. Just try to absorb as much as is possible. And when you feel something, just remember to grab oil and open them and smell them until something's like, yeah, that one. Because it's going to be different depending on what your needs are in that moment. You may reach for a different one than you would if you're in a different vibe, a different emotion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is very fascinating.
Yeah. And then there's the forgive blend. Okay. It's also the renewing blend. Release anger and guilt. Move forward feeling relieved and renewed. And so these are going to be your herbs and grasses. And if you're feeling discontent, bitter, angry, think of finding what are your herbs, what are your, I don't have it here. What are your grasses that you can, breathe in, and think of like the herbs and grasses, they're kind of growing up, they're growing into the sun, right? These dark greens want to be fed by the sunlight. So they're kind of rising.
Expand. I like that.
And then we've got console, which is a comforting blend, feel more hopeful, comforted, and emotional balance. So for console, more grounding, think of your trees. So if you're grieving, if you're sad, if you're feeling ashamed, you can pick up console, breathe it in, use it on your body topically. None of these are going to be internal. So this is just aromatic or topical. Or think of your trees. Think of your essential oils that are more, think of your copaiba, your frankincense, myrrh. These are very grounding essential oils. To me, I think of them more masculine and like supportive in that way. Then we've got peace, and this is the reassuring blend. Support feelings of reassurance and composure and return to peace and presence. So these are your florals. So think about when we receive flowers or when we smell flowers, how do we feel? Even for just a moment, that fragrance, and it's just a moment of just peace and gratitude for the plant, the flower.
I like to grab peace when I'm upset. When I'm upset, I grab peace and it just,
and then you go back to peaceful.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling fearful, worried, or hurt, think of picking up your florals. And florals, I've been kind of really getting to know florals more because at the beginning I had citrus, I had the barks and the trees and resin.
You didn't want anything to do with
all the herbs. I had my only florals, you guys, were like clary sage and lavender. And then I got geranium, but then I didn't have many others.
Strong too.
Just recently, after 5 years of using essential oils, I recently just bought ylang ylang and patchouli, which I freaking hated. But I've been learning to like them because they have a lot of benefits that I'm looking for. So I've been using them on the bottoms of my feet. And now I think I've been liking them more. So I used to not like Serenity because it has patchouli or ylang ylang.
Use it every night.
Ylang ylang.
You know, it's interesting. There's been oils that I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
vetiver. I didn't like vetiver at
Either.
first.
And
then one day we were at convention and I was sharing it with my mom and I was like, Mom, you have vetiver? Can you put it on right now? I need it right now. And I use that with Serenity almost every night.
Nice.
I love it. It's so
Nice.
funny.
All right, you guys. And remember how we talked to you about the microbiome and understanding that we are feeding the gut and that we're giving it what it wants. Okay. So if you're someone who is having digestive issues, if you have gas, you have acid reflux, IBS, all kinds of different things that you can have with your gut. That's something to really look into because that's also going to be affecting your emotions, going to be affecting the brain. Gut-brain connection. And so, there are many different things I'm going to tell you right now of lifestyle things to start to invite more into your life. But also, let's talk a little bit about supplements because probiotics are key to balancing the gut flora, the microbiome, the bacteria that we have in our gut. Okay. Here's the thing with all these antibacterials and cleaning of the hands and being so sterile, right? Because of the virus, we're almost also losing our good bacteria. And so we're not as strong at fighting off, the different, whatever we got going on, whether it's a viral, a bacterial infection, or we can't fight it off so much because we have less of the good bacteria. The antibacterial is killing the bad bacteria, but it's also taking our good bacteria.
And there are so many things that affect our bacteria balance, life, stress, toxins, environmental, and what we take internally, coffee, alcohol. I mean, there's a lot of different foods. There's a lot of things that attack our microbiome, our bacteria. And so even in absence of like digestive upset or issues, we always kind of want to be supporting our digestive system, our GI tract, our gut health. All those are the same thing. We always want to be supporting them because it is literally foundation of every other system of the body, including or especially our mental well-being, mental health, emotional health, ability to handle stress, and every other system of the body.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's
really
right.
Back to your point of like, if you have these digestive upsets, you really want to pay attention. But honestly, if you have anything that you're trying, any imbalance or any illness or anything that you're battling, including, resistant weight loss, you always want to consider digestive health. And if you're absent of all symptoms, awesome. You still want to consider digestive health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So even though doTERRA is known as the #1 essential oil company in the whole wide world, their #1 product is the supplements.
Yeah.
They work. They simply work, and people feel a shift within weeks of using them. Feel a shift in their mood, in their energy, the health of their microbiome. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have them right here. And you can see here also in what we're sharing, the Lifelong Vitality Pack. It's a set of 3 different supplements, which is pretty much everything that you want in these 3 bottles. And we've got our omega, which are your omega fatty acids, 369, that you want for brain health. We've got the alpha CRX, which is your antioxidants, and this
cellular.
For cellular health, antioxidants, and I forget what I'm.
Sorry, I had to throw you off. The microcomplex VM is like nutrition in a bottle. So you have all your vitamins and minerals and things that we want more of from our food come in the microcomplex VMC.
This is the omega. Think of your, like you said, like your whole food supplement or your multivitamin, antioxidants, essential fatty acids. Okay, brain health, antioxidant, and then for everything else. And then we've got the Terrazyme and the PB Assist. The Terrazyme, I eat it with every meal. I take one on my second bite of my meal. I take a Terrazyme to help with digesting my food. These are enzymes. And then the PB Assist is the probiotic and also prebiotic. And so we were talking about gut health. You want to make sure that you have a good combination in your gut flora of the good and the bad bacteria. And so you want to be feeding it probiotics. And what I love about the PB Assist and the doTERRA probiotics is that it's double, what do you call it? Double chamber?
Dual encapsulated.
Dual encapsulated.
So you can get through your stomach acid and make it all the way down to your intestines before it dissolves. In
the stomach, which we really want it in the intestine. We don't want to have it in the stomach. And that's why it's a super cool pill. It's a green pill, you guys. Don't take the red pill. Don't take the
green pill.
Take the green pill.
Or the yellow one.
All right. So I'm going to take one right now.
Nice.
I don't like to put it back in there after I've
after you touched it
in my yeah. All right. So we've got the supplementation that can support with that as well. So what are some other lifestyle things that we can take care of, that we can do, right, to support our emotions, to support the hormones? So we got to sleep, right? As we talked about, most of these hormones are released in the brain, the pineal gland, the pituitary, hypothalamus, and then sleep affects these the melatonin, right? With the release of melatonin, not enough or not. We want to make sure that we're sleeping around the same amount of time, or we're going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, right? Are you sleeping too much or not sleeping enough, right? Because then there's either too much this way or too much that way. You want to find a balance. So commit to having a healthy sleep. If you, in the same way, you're having issues with your microbiome, and then if you're having issues with your sleep, you're going to be having issues with other things as well, with your mood. Notice how we wake up, how we feel when we wake up feeling rested, and then when we wake up feeling groggy, right? Diet, okay? Food, like you said, has an effect on our microbiome. So what are you eating that is affecting everything?
It has a direct effect on your mood too. You can actually, and if you're curious, for a couple of days, you can do a food journal and really just write down everything that you eat and see how you feel mentally, emotionally, mood-wise, as well as physically. Be like, oh, I didn't notice, this weird thing in my stomach. I thought that was just normal, until you really bring your attention to it. And you can see how much food and the way we eat and take care of ourselves affects our mood.
Yep. Exercise. We gotta exercise, right? Yeah, we gotta eat right and healthy and supportive eating. For me, I focus mostly on eating for hormone health. That's my #1. If a diet does not have hormone health as part of it, I don't think it's a diet that we, as women, we should be looking into. Okay, especially women, especially not going into diets that are meant for men, because we're very different with our hormones in the way that they cycle. All right. And so we got to exercise, we got to sweat, we got to release those endorphins, and we get that from, add some cardio, add some weight training. And then in the same way, the yoga can really help with mindfulness, with breath work. All of that is having an effect. Okay. Also invite more play to your day. Like, how do we feel when we play, when we have fun, right? We're releasing those feel good hormones as well. So invite more play. Have you played today? More. Have you played today? Have you played yesterday? Did you play this week so far? Wait, it's the second day of the week. Well, you know what I mean.
Yes, every day, just a little.
Set small goals. Small goals. Maybe the goal is, you know what? I'm going to try to go to bed 30 minutes before. I know that I go to bed at 1 in the morning. I'm going to try 12:30 and then 12 and then 11. So set small goals that you can meet. Okay. Because that's going to be releasing that sense of accomplishment, which releases dopamine.
Can we have everyone put in their chat their favorite way of self-care when they feel emotional or stressed or are processing negative emotion? Do you want to share in the chat like some of your favorite things that you do?
Please let us learn from you as well.
Yes, even if it's something that we covered. Foot massage, yes.
I love that because we also have the reflexology, exactly.
Yeah. There are points in our feet that are connected to every other part of our body, so that's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. Anyone else? You guys, you don't have anything that you do? Well, then this class is perfect for you then, right?
We're taking notes.
You've got essential oils. You're going to cultivate better sleep. You're going to take care of your diet. And if you don't know what to do, this is what we do. We're both health coaches, and this is what we help our clients with. So you can reach out to us, and Jesicca does as well. Remember to exercise. You got to find more play in your day. Set smart goals that you can accomplish. Meditate. Find music, dance, music. It's also so healing.
Laughing and crying are both a huge release of a negative emotion.
Yes. And then movement and dancing. It's a form of, Jesicca was going to be online, and she wanted to lead us through a movement practice, because how she processes emotions is through movement. I do as well. And for me, the way that I process emotion is by feeling the emotion, is sitting with it and letting it leave my body. And sometimes it's singing out loud and dancing with it. The other day I was processing emotions I didn't even know I had to process, but they just came on with this song, and I just started singing and crying and just going up and down and breathing. And I felt like the sadness and the worry and the darkness of the whole world. I felt it in my chest, and it felt like, and I was like, all right, I'm not going down with this. And I just started dancing and singing to this beautiful song, and I cried, and then I laughed, and then that was it.
Wow.
So I allowed myself to feel. I said, you know what? I feel the pain and the sadness of the world. I feel it. I feel it too. And then it was very healing for me. And after that experience, if something shows up again like that, it hasn't, I will do the same. So movement, so good. Put on your favorite music and dance it out. And really important, you guys, drink water. Hydrate. How important is hydration? Sometimes we're like in a bad mood, or we might feel hungry, or whatever the case may be, and it's just that we're dehydrated. By the time that we feel thirsty, we are already dehydrated.
That's right.
So don't wait till you're thirsty. Just keep sipping your water. Keep drinking your water. All right. So we have a lot of people who are already customers here. So I'm not going to take this time, but those of you who might be watching on Facebook or the replay on YouTube, there are ways that you can get these oils in your home. And doTERRA has created beautiful kits. So here's an emotional aromatherapy diffuse kit. You get the 5 milliliter version of all the oils that we just talked about, the emotional blend, with this awesome diffuser.
It's a great diffuser too.
You can also get the family essential kits that has lavender and has digestive, lemon, I don't know, then breathe, frankincense, tea tree, more like medicinal ones. Here's some ideas with supplements and the emotional blends in rollers. So you can get it in rollers or you can get it in the 5 milliliters. Maybe you can try the supplement with the probiotics and the oil, citrus bliss, and elevation to uplift your mood. Or you can also try the Zendocrine, which is the detoxification supplement with serenity and balance. Serenity is the sleep one, relaxation and balance is the grounding one. So another really cool oil that I want to talk about and we haven't mentioned is the adaptive line.
What I have in my hand.
It's one of the newest one. There's an adaptive kit, and that is called adaptive kit. That one brings the roller, the 15 milliliter essential oil, and the supplement. You guys, you cannot take this internally, okay? So there's a supplement that has been made for that.
Well, the supplement also has GABA in it.
Has GABA in it. So this is calming with focus. Okay. So serenity is calming for sleepy, but adaptive is calming with focus. So if you're gonna have a day where you really need to be focused and work on a computer or you study, things like that,
you're stressed while you're working,
you can diffuse adaptive, or you can take your supplements right before you work. And then you can have the rollers for that when you're out on the go, and then you can breathe it in. Sometimes I use it as a perfume. Okay, it smells so good.
So good. And what I love about these supplements in this, or really all of it, but when you have anxiety, that like fluttery, unsettling feeling in your chest that you can get with anxiety, it calms it really fast, like really, really fast. So I find it to be super effective for that as well.
Yes. All right. Oh my God. Time flies when we're having fun. Yes. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. Please type in the chat if you still have any questions, or tell us what you learned about today. That was like the most like aha moment for you. Please type in the chat and let us know. Know that you have natural solutions. I know that we are living in an age where a lot of medication is being prescribed. That to me breaks my heart. The other day, my aunt was telling me how she has a taekwondo school and how she has about 10 kids that she's doing, like they go to the taekwondo school during the day to do their schooling because their parents, they have to go to work, so they don't have anywhere to take them, so they take them here. And she tells me that half of these kids, these are elementary school kids, are on some kind of medication
for ADHD.
For ADHD, exactly. They come in very hyper, okay, and then but then within the 5-10 minutes of being there, maybe 20, they just kind of sit in front of the computer and they're just there looking at the computer, docile and focused, yes, but it's kind of like soulless also in a way. Kids are supposed to be bouncing around. They have so much energy.
Give them some essential oils, help around them.
So I've suggested to her, and we're going to be doing this, to diffuse adaptive, to help calm them down, but also keep them focused. Okay. And it's safe for kids. And so we need to do a little study and do that and see how that works out for her. But I've heard from other people, other testimonials that, and even doTERRA, right? Remember when we were in convention, they had that study with adaptive.
Yeah.
They put adaptive in the diffuser. They had the control group, and then they had the group with the adaptive, and how they performed better. They did better in tests
and exams. Yeah.
Remember that when they showed it? So you guys, so this breaks my heart, and this is why I show up. I dress up in costume.
This was for you.
This is for you. We do this to bring awareness that we are aware that the mind, mental health, emotional health is taking the forefront right now in the times that we are living more than ever. Okay. And also, of course, the physical body. We got to take care of that too. But we also need to remember that we are more than this physical body. We have an energetic body, an emotional, mental, and spirit body. Okay. We didn't even get into spirit body. Okay. That's a whole other conversation.
It's a whole nother class.
Right. But they're all interconnected. Just that we have the three brains right in that physical body. Then we also have this connection or disconnection that we have with our spirit self, with our higher self, that connection to source, whatever you want to call it for you, our mind, our emotions, our energy, the chakra system, our meridians, our nadis, and this physical body, and how they're all talking or not talking. They're in harmony or not in harmony. And so we need to make it a priority in our lives to take care of all these bodies. And we have natural solutions that we can use to support our emotions by breathing in these beautiful oils, by using them topically, and by taking care of our supplementation. All right, you guys, I hope that it was educational for you and that you enjoyed and that you learned. If you registered with us, you will get the PDF version of all the things that I talked about, and also you will get the recording for this class. If you have not registered and you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, there is a link underneath this video for you to register, and then we'll get your email, and that way we'll also remind you of the next classes that we've got coming up.
And you get the notes.
Yay! All right, you guys, you ladies, I should say. Do we still have Jake in the thing? I don't think so. Well, ladies, thank you so much for staying through. We love you. Thank you, Angela, for being my guest today.
My pleasure.
Yes, she
Anytime.
drove here from Palm Beach. And to our dear Jesicca, may she be driving safely and getting to her destination safely. We'll see you next week, you guys. We're going to have an Essential Oils 1-on-1, the Going Back to Basics class, next Tuesday. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Thank you, and take care of yourselves.